All right, welcome to the PUD meeting Board of Commissioners for August 12th. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I guess.
Somebody's.
Where am I on? So
All the lights are on, right? Aren't they supposed to be?
My computer mic's off.
This one? Then you can't hear it, right? Turn it back on, but then it's echo. Or not. Nope, still echo. Although. Give me a mic with an echo. Then it isn't so bad.
Better.
It's better. All right, let us get going. So I would be looking for a approval of consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 7 as presented.
second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. We will move right into SkagitNet Financial. Sarah, welcome.
Here.
Is this your first time getting to play here in our the Thunderdome? Yeah, welcome to the.
I feel the acoustics of this space. Even with the Rockstar reverb, it's good. Thank you, commissioners. It's lovely to be here as usual. Quick SkagitNet update. So I'm bringing you both Q1 and Q2 financials. So kind of our half-year financials on SkagitNet, current through the end of June. You've probably read the report. We're right on track with respect to revenues. Those come in consistently. So we're just about 48%. So real close to 50% on the year for revenues. Expenses are well under right now. 15% year to date on revenues. Do not get too attached to that. By the end of the year, we will have caught up. We should be right back on track again. There are just some things that get paid later in the year. So nothing unusual about that. In terms of our overall cash on hand, we're at about $192,000 in the bank for SkagitNet, which is right where we thought we'd be on our original cash flow forecast. So pleased with how SkagitNet is chugging along. Quick project update. We have 2 projects in construction right now, the Fur Island project and the, we call it the Bow outlying areas, but it's basically the Colony Mountain area in Bow. I think we're there. So those projects are both under construction and that there are contractors in the field. They're both adaptive management. I know that you all as a utility understand this better than we do as a real estate port, but we're working on easement acquisition and sort of field fitting this project as we go. They're both going well. Probably take a good 6 to 9 months to complete all the trunk line installation and then all the user connections. It's all grant funded. Both projects have different pots of grant funding that are supporting them. So we're trying to get people out and understanding the project well enough to make their connections while they can get the benefit of grant funding. So that's that. We've also talked quite a bit about federal BEAD funding. We have now reapplied for BEAD, I believe, for the 3rd time in response to rule changes. This was a very substantial rule change that happened in response to our new administration coming in and rethinking how they wanted to approach priorities. So we have reapplied. We are applying in partnership with Astound Broadband. If you recall, 5 project areas in Skagit County. The easternmost project area we did not apply for. That's Ziply territory. They're the only game in town. They will handle that. The other 4 areas we have applied for with Astound in partnership. And one of those areas, which is kind of the lower Skagit County going out onto Fidalgo Island, Astound is going alone in this latest round of applications. So we now have 3 areas we've applied for. Still $32 million worth of projects that we're out there for. And if we get those, we will dutifully complete those projects and work with Astound to provide services. So we'll see how that goes. We should know by the end of the year. That's the adaptive management that BEAD requires. So that's it. Happy to answer your questions.
None for me.
None for me.
So now that we've signed the agreement with Astound, what does
Mm.
the future
Mhm.
involvement look like as far as the management of SkagitNet?
For SkagitNet. So SkagitNet is really our operating arm for all of us. We collectively own the assets, and SkagitNet is doing the operation of things. So I think we've had conversations about there may be a point at which we declare mission accomplished and we look to simplify SkagitNet back down to something that looks like an asset sharing agreement or something. So we still have some mutual benefit for the use of the assets. You all have internal needs, we have internal needs. So I don't have a plan for that right now, but we can foresee that day coming. I think let's see what happens with the BEAD funding. So we have an understanding of how much infrastructure we might need to build and how long that might take. But that's what I see, that we are getting very close to the point where I think we're able to hand these systems to the private sector for the most part. There'll still be a core system on Baby Ridge that we're going to manage because it's on our property, and that makes sense for us. So lots more discussions around all that, but I think we're all looking at the same picture out on the horizon.
Other
Does that
question,
answer-
what is the timeline on the BEAD funding?
If we receive that funding, we have 5 years to use it. So that will be a substantial amount of construction. Yeah. Yeah.
When do they award?
We should know by the end of the year, and then hopefully dollars start flowing next year. Yeah, it's in various rounds. So the first dollars that were awarded, which we were not awarded in the first round, will start flowing within the next 6 months. And that will have a seismic impact on material availability, timelines of projects. So there's a lot to absorb if we are funded. Yeah, I would not anticipate that we'll be out of capital project mode on broadband if we get the BEAD funding for a good 5 years. Yeah. Without BEAD funding, we should be done within the next 9 months. Yeah.
Thank you.
Excellent.
You're
All right,
welcome.
Sarah, thank
Yeah.
you so much,
Yeah.
as always. Great
Anytime.
job. All right, we would be looking for some audience comments. If you are online, like use the raise your hand function.
Try that now.
Okay, we can try that now. Yeah, if you're online, you can use the raise your hand function, whereas we got team in the room. I'm not seeing any, so we will now cover some general manager report.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. What are we working on? Budget, 2026 budget is something that staff internally has started to prepare for. So we've submitted draft information to Brian, and we're starting our internal process. We just had one CIP meeting today, our first one, just to start figuring out what the CIP is going to look like. And one of the things that we'll be discussing is our pipe replacement program. So we're going to have a discussion. We're planning to have a discussion at the next meeting, the one on August 26th. And then if needed, more discussion in September. The budget hearing is set for October 14th, and workshops will follow in October and November. So I'm just curious if there's any absences that we should take into account when we finalize the schedule.
I will be absent the week of Thanksgiving. So we've discussed previously about that, but
November 25th
Mhm.
meeting, right? Okay. Anybody else? October, November?
We got nothing planned.
Okay. Because we'll probably, just like before, we'll schedule work sessions on off weeks as well, not just meeting days. So if there's anything that comes up, let me know. I'd imagine at the next meeting, we'll formalize the schedule and give it to you guys and get it on your calendar.
also one of our meetings falls on a November holiday for Veterans Day.
The Veterans Day, yeah, we're gonna have to get a motion to change the date of that meeting, so yeah. Okay. Other things. The water workshop, beauty water workshop scheduled for September 24th to 26th in Leavenworth. There'll be good representation from Skagit staff for presentations and different things. The room block, I'm hoping you all got room. I think it's almost full or is full. Good, okay. And then registration's open, and what we're gonna try and do is just register everybody as a group. Shannon's gonna take that and do that for everyone, so that's good. Let's see, things that we're working on. We're currently working on year-end performance evaluations for non-represented staff. So our year ends are June 30th. And HR is also completing a salary comp study for all non-represented staff. So the last one we did was in 2022. So we try and do that every 3 years right after the bargaining is done for the represented staff. The following year, we do a comp study for all the non-reps. So January 1st of next year, we'll take into account the comp study, any merit increases for performance evaluations, as well as the COLA, and then that'll all be rolled out January 1st. So a lot of work going into the comp study update. You would think that it'd be easy just to update all the positions and salaries and everything, but 3 years is a lot of time for our agency comps to change. And so it takes a while every time we do this. So Kathy and Krista have been working on that. I will comment about a couple things in the information section, just to bring your attention to them. So one is the safety practice and procedure for control of hazardous energy. So if you have any comments on that, let me know. That doesn't require formal board approval, but it's there for your review. And then the second one is the SR 9 and 20 pipe relocation change order. So the change order is the reconciliation that we do at the end of the project to reconcile quantities. And the reason it's on here is because the total amount of the change orders exceed 20% of the original project. And so it's in our purchasing policy for me to update you on the change order and the cost. And so the details are included on the summary in the back. And we notice there's a transposition of some numbers. So the total fiscal impact is actually less than what's shown on there. We actually got 582 in that state funding, not 538. So the fiscal impact is less to us. The good thing is we got a lot of state grant funding for this project, which really helped. So that's there. And I think that's it for me, unless there's any questions.
None for me.
I just have a question / comment. So this is the second pipeline project that we've had that's gone quite a bit over the original estimated budget as far as our capital facilities plan budget goes. So between the Burlington pipeline project and this project, we're about $731,000 of unplanned expenses. So is there a way that in our future meeting, we can go over what projects we've completed and closed out, what our original budget was, what with change orders everything is, and see with all projects being completed potentially at the end of the year, what our over budget may be. So any reconciliation that would need to be done on a budget amendment.
Yeah, we can take a look at that and see. I think there's,
Or what projects just may not be gotten to.
yeah, some
because
of them are
that.
still in progress, so it might be hard to pin down exactly where we're at. But yeah, I'll take a look at the projects for the
That'd be
year
great.
and see where we're at. It's hard because we don't have a discrete
Mhm.
calendar year budget the projects run over. But yeah, I'll take a look at the projects where we're at so far.
Great, thank you.
Great, thanks. Well, let's talk community relations then, shall we? All right.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm pleased to be here to talk about the Community Relations Department or update. It's been a while, so I'll be covering some of this year's outreach activities, media engagement, communications, and a little bit about a public art project. And let's start with outreach. Our outreach programs continue to connect with residents and educate them about water services. This year, we welcomed 8 school and homeschool groups to Judy Reservoir and our water treatment plant. These field trips give students hands-on learning experiences about their water and the water resources and treatment process that ensures safe drinking water. Students learn about the journey of water as it takes from the watershed to their taps, and we emphasize the importance of Skagit watershed and our role in preserving critical salmon habitat. And these programs help create the next generation of water stewards in our community. So then during Drinking Water Week in May, we opened our facilities for public tours. 75 residents took behind the scenes tours to see how we treat and deliver our water. Participants were often surprised by the complexity of the treatment process and anticipated learning about the work that goes into providing safe, reliable water services. And our field staff, it's pretty cool. They were PUD ambassadors this spring. Meter technician Jose Ortiz and water treatment plant operator Riley Smith participated in career days at Jefferson Elementary, and they were sharing what they do and talking about students about the careers in water utilities. And then we toured the Mount Vernon High School Environmental Sciences class at our microhydro project up on East Division and Digby. This tour showed the students real-world examples of renewable energy generation from our water system. And then for community event sponsorship, we provided our Thirst Buster hydration station to numerous community events. We were at the Skagit Valley Run, Tulip Run in April. We were at the Boys and Girls Club Get Outside Run, Fun Run in May up at the college. This year new, we were at the Skagit Skies Air Show in June. Then up to Concrete Youth Activity Day, I was a scorcher back in July. And then we were at the Anacortes Arts Festival the first weekend in August. And then last week, we were some of the cool cats that hung out at the Skagit County Fair all week. So we were very busy with the hydration station. These sponsorships promote hydration and create visibility for the PUD while showing our support for local events. And then looking ahead, we have tours planned at the water treatment plant with the Skagit County Natural Resources Employees Surface Water Group in a couple of weeks. And then we have the Skagit Conservation District's watershed stewards are coming back in September. They had taken a tour last year, and then some from the had done the community tour, and they were very interested. So they want to come back. So that's pretty cool. And then don't want to forget our rain barrel program. It helps our customers conserve water this year. We've sold about 45 barrels to residents, helping them reduce water use outdoors and also stormwater runoff. We also donated rain barrels to the Triumph Youth Center for their garden program and to the Skagit Garden and Art Fair as a raffle item. So we are also a in-kind sponsor for that event. And the girls are painting the barrel there for the garden. And then we'll go to media coverage. We've received positive media coverage that helps keep the community informed about our work. Everything from our community tours at the Reservoir to our participation at Concrete Youth Activity Day. I even made the paper as a photo, and to our newest microhydro project. This media coverage helps keep the public informed about our programs and services while building community awareness of what we do. And we even received a nice letter to the editor about PUD doing the right thing. Owned media, we communicate with customers through several channels we manage directly. Our social media activity, we're active on Facebook, Nextdoor, YouTube, and recent posts that connected well with residents included free excavation materials from our construction sites, water saving tips, announcements about the micro hydroelectric project at the high school where we had over 22,000 views, 700 interactions, and 90 plus comments. And a few of them got pulled from Facebook. So, and on our YouTube channel, we host our board meetings and community events, keeping the public meetings accessible for everyone. So transparency. Our bi-monthly newsletter, pipeline newsletter, keeps customers informed on practical content. We still send out a bill insert, but about 9,000 customers have signed up for our receiver e-newsletter because they've adopted paperless billing. We have a 65% engagement rate, so that's pretty high for a e-newsletter. And then we also produce the Consumer Confidence Report to let customers know and understand about their water quality. This came out 1st of July. And we also include updates in the CCR on our water use efficiency goals and our work to reduce water loss in our distribution systems. And then our website stays current with news stories helpful to customers, such as ways to reduce their water bill, public service announcements about voluntary water conservation, which is going on now, and updates on infrastructure projects. And it's just one of several of our channels that we use for communicating with our customers. And then new this year, we have the employee spotlight videos for our all hands meetings, helping staff learn about different roles within the utility. This year we featured meter technician Matt Walker and water treatment plant operator Riley Smith. And these videos help employees understand and appreciate the variety of work that keeps our utility running. And then quickly on public art, as we continue to settle into our new facility, we're addressing the finishing touches that weren't included in the original construction. Right now, you may have noticed we have 2 significant blank spaces that need attention, art for the lobby wall, and then also for the stairwell areas. And we've advertised for qualified firms, and we've selected Bio Design Studio and Architectural Elements in Bellingham, and they will be worked together on the installation. The artists are currently finishing other projects this summer, and we'll turn their attention to developing concepts for these spaces next month. I don't know if you know what the acid ball is up in Bellingham or at the old Georgia Pacific. They've done some of that. So they do a lot of public art. So that should be good. These installations will complete our new facility, creating a more welcoming and finishing environment for customers and for employees. And we're excited to see these concepts be developed to enhance these prominent spaces in our building. And we'll update the board as we move along with the artists present their design concepts and proceed with fabrication and installation. And then looking ahead, we'll continue our education programs, community partnerships, and our public communications, and we'll keep you updated in the progress. So that concludes my update, the quickie.
Awesome.
And are there any questions? No questions?
It's so thorough.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right.
Excellent. Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks.
All right, so now we will adjourn to an executive session to consider the minimum price at which real estate will be offered per RCW 4230-110-1C for 10 minutes.
Say we'll come back at 5.
We'll come back at 5. All right, we are back from our executive session, almost at a break, but not at all. But we will now entertain some new business related to the disposition of a Big Lake lot property. Who's pitching that?
Hello.
Hello.
We put the bidding out for this property that was discussed earlier for about 2.5 weeks, and the only person to bid the project was Mrs. Browning, the lady who came to the last meeting. She's an owner of the adjacent property, and so her bid was $1,000, and that is the proposal to accept her bid for the property.
All right. Questions, comments?
I would make a motion to accept the bid from Miss Browning, Teresa Browning, in the amount of $1,000.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, well, we've got some information, lots of information in the packet here, and commissioner comments. Commissioner Hamburg, you had
Yeah,
to
just
report.
just an update from SCOG. The county is proposing a lead entity designation update to add additional oversight from local and tribal interest groups. And in 1998, that designation was provided to the Watershed Council through SCOG. So we had a workshop last month. We will have another meeting this upcoming week, this next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, to address that motion from the county. So we'll be voting on that to determine what next steps are for ensuring that the outcomes of and goals of the Chinook Recovery Plan are being met by the county.
Excellent, thank you. Doing?
None for me.
I don't have anything, so we will call this meeting adjourned at 5:02.